The NTSB prelim report on the tragic death of the ramp agent on New Year's Eve at Montgomery Regional Airport is out. We're going to go over it on this episode of Taking Off. Hi, I'm Dan Milliken. We've previously reported on this horrible accident, but to recap quickly, an American Airlines regional jet, the Embraer E-175, taxied up to the gate after landing Montgomery Regional Airport in Alabama. The plane's auxiliary power unit, or APU, was inop, so the crew had to leave the engines on until they arrived at the gate. One of the ramp agents walked in front of the left engine and got sucked up into it and immediately killed her. And now we have some more details from the NTSB and their prelim report. The accident occurred at 3:39 in the afternoon on New Year's Eve. On board the plane were 63 passengers and crew. Nobody on the plane was injured. And here's what the report says. The flight was operated by Envoy Air Inc., doing business as American Eagle Flight Envoy 3408, with an inoperative auxiliary power unit, APU. The flight crew reported that after an uneventful flight, they elected to leave both engines running for the required 2-minute engine cooldown period. As the airplane approached the gate, 3 ramp agents were present, but clear of the safety area. After stopping the aircraft and setting the parking brake, the captain gave the hand signal to connect the airplane to the ground power. And as he was shutting down the number 2, that's the right engine, the door cargo forward open engine, and I think they mean alarm or signal, indicating and crew alerting system ICAS message appeared indicating that the forward cargo door had opened. And what this means is that the captain and the first officer were in the process of shutting down the right engine when they got alerted that someone had opened the cargo door. And the cargo door is on the first officer's side, right there, very close to the right or number 2 engine. And this is against company policies and safety briefings, and we'll get into that in a minute. The first officer actually opened his window and yelled out to the ramp agents that the engines were still running. The captain alerted the passengers to stay seated, that the fasten seatbelt light was still on. Then the captain turned to the first officer that he was going to leave the seatbelt light on until both engines were shut down. And as soon as he said that, they felt a violent shake and the left engine's auto shutdown was initiated. Unsure of what happened, he killed the batteries and went to investigate. There is video surveillance of the incident, which has not been publicly released. And what the NTSB says about the video is that it shows there were 4 ramp agents. The marshaller, after bringing the airplane to the gate and the front wheels getting chalked, moves over to the right side of the airplane to open the cargo door. And at the same time, the video shows a ramp agent on the left side walk towards the back of the plane with an orange cone and disappears from view. The third ramp agent on the right wing is seen gesturing towards the one who walked to the back of the plane. Meanwhile, the fourth ramp agent was kneeling near the airplane's nose wheel. I'm guessing he was the one that chalked the nose. Then the ramp agent from the back of the airplane reappears and walks towards the left wingtip. The marshaller can be seen backing away from the cargo door, probably with the instructions from the FO through his window. The ramp agent on the left wing is then seen walking along the leading edge of the left wing directly in front of the left number 1 engine. She was pulled off her feet and into the operating engine. Throughout the incident, the airplane's upper rotating beacon can be seen illuminated. The cameras couldn't see the lower one, and when the beacon is on, it's a signal to stay outside the envelope. The NTSB reports that the ground crew had a safety briefing 10 minutes before the airplane arrived at the gate, and that a second safety huddle was held shortly before the airplane arrived to reiterate that the engines would remain running, and that it was discussed that the airplane should not be approached and that the safety cones not set until the engines were off and spooled down and the beacon turned off. These guys knew it was coming in with the engines rolling. The ramp agent who chalked the wheel stated that he observed another ramp agent about to set the safety cone at the rear, and he yelled at her and waved her off. And then he went back to connecting the ground power from under the center of the airplane until he heard the noise. The American Eagle Ground Operations Manual states, here it is, to keep employees alive and aircraft intact, you will Never approach an aircraft to position ground equipment next to an aircraft or open cargo bin doors until the engines are shut down and the rotating beacons turned off, except when conducting an approved single-engine turn. Jet blast ingestion zones. Jet engines spin with powerful speed and are extremely dangerous until spooled down. The area in front of the engine is called the ingestion zone. The ingestion zone for all aircraft types is 15 feet. You must never enter the ingestion zone until the engine has spooling down. The engine must be spooled down before entering the ingestion zone. This can take between 30 to 60 seconds depending on aircraft type. This applies to both wing and fuselage tail-mounted engines. You must wait until you can see clearly the individual fan blades before entering the ingestion zone. Based on this, here's what we know. The flight crew did all the right thing. The ramp agents had the safety briefings, which were ignored by the marshaller and the deceased ramp agent. And in a moment, a life was ended. I don't know what kind of pressure the ramp agents were under. I know that airplanes have to hurry to get bags out and to the passengers. And I know that all this leads to the on-time average given to the airlines. And I know for some, opening the cargo door stops the clock. But I don't know if that was the case here. What we do know is that there were 2 safety meetings held in the 10 minutes prior to the airplane's arrival. And finally, I know nobody wanted this outcome. And it's why the companies stress safety in this dangerous environment. I work with a lot of construction companies in my film business and have done a lot of safety training videos. Companies can stress safety over and over, but it is up to each individual person to listen and follow the procedures. And what I take away is this. When I'm operating my airplane, don't be in a hurry. Follow the rules. They're written in blood, and they're there to protect us and others. In this particular case, looks like the flight crew did what they were supposed to. The safety policies and rules had been put into place and trained and briefed, and meetings were held before. Everything was as it should have been until it wasn't, and the rules weren't followed. That's all I've got from the prelim report. I'd like to thank our sponsors, and I put links and offers in the description below. Supporting them helps support us. I appreciate it. Remember, superior judgment trumps superior skills. Stay safe out there. And if you want to watch our initial report, you can click right there. And don't forget, like and subscribe. We appreciate all your support.